with Zyori. It's at his event.
Yeah.
The summit. This is your home event,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been running around doing a lot of kind of like massaging the transition between all the administrators and
A little bit. Yeah.
masters and everything. Do you find it hard to do that while casting yourself, or?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty hard yesterday. I was in the last series, so I just kind of sat down and we kind of ran with it. It was a little tricky. We didn't have a really good plan with how to close the show, or if there was a good plan, I missed the memo on that one. So a series ended, and I looked like kind of a dum-dum for a few minutes there. I guess that's a pretty normal.
And
thing
I
there.
made my debut. We talked about Vulcan.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that. So, Hotbid, what do you think about this pick? You're like, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
They were like, you want to come on and talk about Vulcan? I'm like, yeah, I'm like huge fantasy. Like, I love playing fantasy, and I do it for like.
And then the draft just started.
They're like, I'm still sitting there, and Zyori just like, hey, well, what do you feel about this draft? And first, that was the first time I've ever been like.
I just wanted to include you, man. I didn't want you to feel left out.
I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not an expert at Dota.
You
like,
play Dota though. What's your MMR?
I'm like 4.4.
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm not like a good I don't have like good
presentation
of like pro Dota.
Okay, I got you.
I'm not like you guys. You guys know a lot more.
We do it a little more.
You guys are running this event. A lot of people don't see what's behind the scenes of it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the most like hectic or crazy or underrated part of running an event, logistically? That is.
I would say the kind of organizational structure. That was something that was really bad at the Summit too. I think aside from the computer issues, once we got those fixed, the actual show flow of the Summit 2 was pretty good once we got through the headaches. But behind the scenes, we had a lot of people that were sort of all doing the same thing. We had too many people that didn't have very clear roles. Or like, okay, LD.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I noticed this time you have like someone that just does this.
Yeah.
You're just like, they know exactly what.
It's like, David Parker, you are in charge of talent. You're in charge of all the people that sit on the couch, wrangling them, making sure they know what to do. Myself and Rob are kind of in charge. Rob's the team coordinator, so he's in charge of interfacing with managers and arranging rides. And I'm kind of in charge of the drivers and the hotel staff. Rob and I have been tag teaming it. So this time we just have a pretty dichotomous roles, and then the core four, as we call it, the two Davids, myself and Brian, K-Poptosis, are kind of there to make those big macro decisions, or if there's some issue or something that comes up. So it's getting that kind of template to know who's doing what, I think, is really important. I've been studying a bit of project management recently, and what I'm learning is putting more time into the prep to make the actual process easier is really a lot more valuable
You guys
than
have a lot
anything
of
else.
meetings.
We have a lot of lists too.
Yeah, and then I think that's how it goes. Running these kind of events. What do you envision for the next one?
Oof, God.
I know this is really early. Like we're like second day, but
yeah,
like, most of the prep work is what's difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, running the show is not as hard as.
Right. Once it's all kind of put into place. Yeah. If you do your homework at the beginning, it makes it a lot easier. Usually, what we do is at the end of the tournament, we have basically all of the core staff sitting. Like last time, it was just a big circle and okay, name everything that pissed you off this event. When did you have a headache? What issues did you come across? What did people say would make this better? And then we just try to make a list and see what is possible and what isn't, or if there's another reason why issues happen. So that was kind of the time after the Summit 2 when we came up with a lot of stuff for the Summit 3. For example, giving the international managers burner cell phones. It's a very simple thing, but it's made communication this go around a lot easier, whereas before they were kind of like trying to find Wi-Fi, tweeting at us. And this time we officially made Twitter a non-official communication channel, because last time players were like tweeting at us for rides, and as you can imagine, that's a clusterfuck of
And you guys have drivers this time, Toffees and Slacks?
Yeah, we've had drivers in the past, but it's probably the least fun job, I would say. It's
yeah, like those guys,
it's very grindy.
Their skills are obviously extend far beyond driving. What made you decide to like put those guys into that kind of?
That was kind of a somewhat last-minute decision. This time with the practice area at the hotel, we needed at least an additional 4 staff just to stay on duty and make sure the players have everything they need, and that if there are issues, to contact the hotel and deal with it. And then we wanted to bring some more staff at the house just to make sure we were totally covered to handle all 8 teams. And we weren't really sure how we were going to staff it. The original plan was just to find locals or like just esports fan nearby. We get a lot of like resumes and requests for volunteers and stuff.
But the thing is, like, yeah, it's tough because you're trusting a pretty important position, even though it might not be super, like glamorous or like high skilled.
Yeah, but
it's like
it's really important though. You got to show up on time.
Pulls up, accidentally crashes the van or something.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money that LGD could like He's
plus,
these are like multi-million-dollar organizations. You know?
yeah, and plus like the kind of fanboyism thing is one of our biggest concerns. With
Yeah.
drivers like, listen, if they want to talk to you, that's fine, engage, but when in doubt, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like you're not there to be their friend, you're there to be their driver, and
Yo, Bernie, can I take a picture?
Yeah,
No, dude.
Some teams are interested and will chat. I mean, I've done a lot of driving. Some teams are really interested and will chat and ask questions, and others will just speak in their native tongue, talk to themselves, strategize, whatever. So it's hard to explain that to people that don't really work in the industry. So we were trying to come up with ideas to create more content on the stream. That was part of like bringing you here and some of the other talent like Synderen. I was like, well, maybe we can bring in some people like Toffees that want to make some pre-roll videos, and then they can staff the event and they can double as people on the couch. If Synderen gets sick or we need somebody to fill, Mott can sit on the couch, for example. So we wanted to fill with as many kind of hybrid people as possible. And also, it's just a great opportunity for someone like Slacks and Toffees that don't really get invited to events very often. They're pretty happy to do a tedious job or whatever you want, a non-glamorous job, I guess is how you put it. But they still get to feel the event, interact with players, still get to network around a lot, and it's a lot better to work with people that are excited to be here. They're just pumped. We've changed the hotel schedule a few times. We actually pulled Hippie from working at the hotel, and now he's doing social media here at the house because we needed somebody to do it, and he just seemed competent. Now he's been doing a really good job, and everyone's just been super flexible, eager just to stay up all night, work hard, and it's a lot easier to manage people that are just motivated and excited.
Yeah, and you guys set up a little mini LAN center at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Logistically seemed a little difficult, but
yeah, we made it work.
That's above and beyond, right?
Yeah, when we landed from San Francisco, we had like that 50% Dota plane where like it was IG Secret, a bunch of our staff, Envy was on it, just basically everyone coming from Red Bull to the Summit 3. We got off the plane and Tron was asking me about where they could go practice if they were going to go to LAN Cafe, and I said there's PCs at the hotel, and he just said nice tournament and just walked away. So that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback we got.
It's kind of crazy, like
practice time.
Those players, man, they're
fiends, dude.
You put them in a room and they have an interconnection in Dota and they're good.
Oh yeah.
Like they like almost nothing else about the tournament matters if they have their own PC.
That and food.
Yeah,
they like food and computers. Those are the two big things that really make teams happy. And not getting up too early. That's the other thing. They don't want to get up before 8.
Yeah, and you have it staffed and open 24 hours.
It was 24 hours since we pulled Hippie. It's closed now from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. On the first night, no one came in during that 4-hour window.
That's when I was gonna go.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. I was
hit some
go.
5 a.m. pubs.
Yeah. I feel like the 5 a.m. NA crowd is the perfect time to play solo queue riots.
It is. That is a good time to grind MMR. But that's kind of the dead period. But it's essentially it's 20 hours a day now, so it's pretty open. And there's food and stuff there. It's pretty nice.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh.
What about your history and stuff? I don't think we've ever done one of these.
My
right?
history? No, we've never done one. No.
Yeah. It's 'cause,
I've never been lucky enough to have a Hotbid interview.
I want to do one when you had the dreads on. But
Oh,
you now that they're gone. I saw you meet with someone at Red Bull who had dreads himself.
Yeah, I met that guy at the TI4 after party, I think, and he was, obviously very excited. Another white guy with dreads. He was all pumped up. He was just so excited, and he saw me at the San Jose event, and he just gave me that moment of silence look of just.
He was just like, you
traitor.
Betrayed, yeah.
Traitor. And I was like, oh, come on, man. He was like, you know what? You're taking your job more seriously. I can appreciate that. And then he walked away. I was like, all right, well, I'll take it.
Maybe he'll cut off his dreads.
Possibly. Maybe.
You're gonna get invited to TI this year, though. I feel it.
I would be very surprised if I didn't. I think I was actually somewhat prepared to not be invited to TI4 because it was like the image thing, and like I was still kind of the new guy on the block. I'd been full-time VTS for like 6 months, 5 months-ish, whatever, when the invites went out. What I wasn't prepared for was to be that one person that was not invited. It seemed like they invited every other talent and then some.
Well, I mean, some other people. I don't really want to go into like who wasn't invited because I could probably just name a few people that also didn't get invited. But
I wasn't literally the only one, but they, someone like Alan, for example, that was like the first time he ever worked on camera, and at the time I was like, dude, I cast Dota like every day. I can work that panel. What about me, guys? But I feel like this year,
if they don't invite you this year, what are you gonna do? You gonna riot?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think my brain will just explode.
I mean, you do a lot of work. You do a lot of hours. I always see you on the fucking.
We do a lot of Dota. Yeah, we cast a lot. So
you're like those like pilots that have like, I got 800 hours under like this thing. You're like the guy that. Do you think you have the most?
Well, they did. There was a post that came out at the beginning of this year. I think Haas did it, where they pulled out like through Dat Dota all the ticketed games and the casters that were on it. And I was in like the top 5. I think.
Who was number 1?
It's gotta be like Cap or something, right?
I don't think it was Cap. I can't remember now. Blaze was strikingly high, though he wasn't number one. LD was actually strikingly high as well. People forget that he doesn't that he casts a lot still, because he does a little more like Chinese
well, it's
SEA
because BTS
stuff.
does so much that it's like every time you tune into BTS, if it's not LD, you kind of remember it. You know.
I've noticed Reddit has some Western bias. Like if you cast a lot of Chinese Dota, they're like, who's that guy again? And if you cast a lot of Western Dota,
the Reddit is East. I mean, to be fair to Reddit,
it's a Western site.
Yeah, they're a North American and European centered site. They don't know much about C and China.
It makes sense, but I think
I don't
last
think
year
they're going to be very interested in the Chinese and C qualifiers, to be honest. Like they're going to watch a little bit of it, but it's not going to be like all the known Chinese teams are out of it.
Yeah, I think last year I casted 350 ticketed games that were recorded on Dat Dota, and that doesn't count like any LAN where there was another observer where my account wasn't in there. It doesn't count any shows, any panels that I hosted, that kind of stuff. So that's
you going for number one this year?
I kind of hope not. That's a lot of Dota, man. That's some serious grind. I'm hoping to do like less volume but higher quality. You know, work more LAN events and do more hosting, that kind of stuff. So less games,
you just
but
cast
more.
the very best league, and then you switch to Hearthstone.
Oh, there you go. Is that the model? Is that the way to break through?
That's the Artosis way.
Yeah. What happened to World of Tanks? I thought they were all.
World of Tanks is they did World of Tanks for they got brought in for World of Tanks. They cast a few of them. I don't think it was ever really like in the plan to be serious about that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that close with Tasteless or Artosis. So
Artosis is a huge. Like, Artosis legit in Hearthstone though. Like he's like an OG like Magic the Gathering player. You know.
Right. He's a card guy.
Yeah. He got some flack. He gets some flack for switching, but people still like him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I like the hosting thing. I think 2015, I mean, I've worked a lot more events this year than I did last year, partially because BTS just has more LAN events, and also because, I don't know, I think I've just improved a bit relative to this time last year in terms of my LAN presence.
And, okay, so before casting Dota, what did you do?
Like before I started, so I have a BS in entrepreneurship. I have a bachelor's degree.
In entrepreneurship?
Yep, my degree's hanging in the other room. It actually says entrepreneurship on it.
You put it up?
Yeah, it's hanging. Hell yeah, dude. I paid a lot of money for that thing. You kidding? Where's your degree? Is it sitting in a box somewhere?
You can photo. I have a law degree, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't have it anywhere.
Where is it actually? Just tucked in a box? Do you throw it away?
Probably at my house, I guess.
You don't even know?
I'll make you a photocopy. You wanna put it up too?
Kinda. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of nice.
Okay, so what do they teach you in entrepreneurship?
It's a very pretentious title that is, it's like 1 credit different from business administration. Or not 1 credit, 1 class different.
Yeah.
Basically, instead of like 2 public administration classes, you take 2 creative classes. I had like an innovation class and
an innovation class.
Yeah.
What do they teach you in that?
How
do you teach someone to be innovative?
It's silly. I'm not gonna lie. I actually find it to be somewhat pretentious.
I could teach that and then just take all their ideas. Is that what?
Yeah, do it, dude. I mean, it depends who I'm talking to. I often just say I have a business degree, but if I really break it down, I'm like, yeah. So you can literally say I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, I could, but I don't, because that's like, Andrew Campbell, entrepreneur. Like, for fuck's sake.
Anytime someone introduces themselves as an entrepreneur, I'm just like, so you don't have a job. Like that. Right? Technically, I'm an entrepreneur.
Pretty much anybody that like is a self-starter is an entrepreneur, I think, in this day and age. So it's a somewhat meaningless title.
But everyone will be in the future, like internet, right?
I hope so.
That's what it is.
Internet entrepreneurs, man.
That's where you gotta find your offices yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
Forget that stuff.
So check this out. I started in esports because of Team Liquid. I bought StarCraft 2 when it came out, played it for a little while. You know, I had some friends, and then someone said, "Hey, you should play in an amateur tournament," and linked me to some, like, the prize was an hour of coaching with somebody I'd never heard of, platinum-only tournament. It was on Team Liquid, and I saw the, like, 10,000 people logged in at the top. I was like, damn, what's this website? It's a lot of traffic. And I started looking around, and that was when my eyes got open to, damn, people watch people play video games and talk about it.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, the launch of StarCraft 2 is when I discovered esports.
And then how'd you get into Dota? You switched into Dota.
Well, I've always been a big gamer. I was a big Blizzard fanboy. Diablo 2 was like the first real game that I really like.
So you didn't start casting StarCraft or anything like that, did you?
I did. I casted StarCraft for about a year. Remember Hyper Crew? Those little baby tournaments?
I remember that name. I don't.
I was that guy.
Okay.
We did what year was it? What year did StarCraft 2 come out? 2010?
2012. Well, the beta was 2010.
Like, when did Wings of Liberty?
2012.
What year did Wings of
July
Liberty?
2010.
2010. Okay, so I think I started hosting like little micro tournaments. It was like 25 or 30 or $50 like Friday night opens, and we would do those once a week. We did like 25 of them or so, and it was really so I could like practice casting. And at the time, it's like, that was not a lot of money, but StarCraft was booming, so we could fill a 128 player bracket, and usually we would get at least one or two decent players. Like Destiny played in the first one, Sheth played in a lot of them. A whole bunch of, we tried to network around and, talk to players and be like, hey, this is really easy. You can play 5 games and win $30. It'll be awesome,
$30. Those were the days, right?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
How things have changed. So
But, okay, so then you found Dota, I guess?
Yeah, so back to Diablo 2. I played Blizzard games a lot. So I played Warcraft 3 when that was like the hot title from Blizzard. So I knew what Dota was through custom games. I mean, I didn't know anything about the competitive scene. I was a total amateur. I was probably one of the worst pubbers ever. But I was very familiar with what Dota 1 was. And when my friends and I would play vanilla Warcraft, we would, for little LAN parties when we got tired of grinding, we would play Dota and feed.
And then you just started casting in BTS.
Yeah, so
you just started casting 2 days later. BTS was like, "Hey,
no.
join?"
So I had played Heroes of Newerth quite a bit. Like when that game came out, I had friends that got me a beta key, and once I started playing, I was like, "Wow, this is like Dota, but better engine. It's faster. You can reconnect. There's stat tracking. It's like standalone Dota. It's Dota 1.5." So I stopped playing Dota 1, focused on Han, and as that game got more S2 specific and less Dota porty, when they stopped porting Dota Heroes, it just kept getting kind of worse and worse. So I was kind of trying to transition into Dota 2 while I was like working with Honcast and working on Dota projects.
You in that gym.
I could have been me, dude. I could have. They offered me a job and I turned it down. I could have been Breaky's number 2. It was not worth $30,000 a year. I'm glad I didn't do it. Nobody wants. Who wants to live in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Yeah, that's a little rough.
That's a weird place to set up a studio.
It is, yeah. But now you live in LA.
Yeah. Well, the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
People in LA get really mad about that because we put Los Angeles on everything. People in Europe don't know the difference. LA is LA. It's somewhere in California. They're
it's
cool
the same
with
San Francisco. Like someone was like, I was like, oh yeah, Fear and Charlie live in San Francisco, and someone's from San Francisco was like, they don't live in San Francisco. They live in
Oakland.
They live like 20 minutes away or something. Like they're like, that's not real San Francisco. I'm like, it's San Francisco to me, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we're in the Inland Empire. All you LA fan straights out there.
And so you started casting. You probably cast a lot. And then BTS one day called you up.
No, it was the Dota. You're familiar with the Dota Radio project, that audio only casting thing that I did. It was
no.
So the kind of middle of 2013, I was on vacation in Florida. I was hammered in August, just soaking up the rays. I was like, what if there was radio coverage of esports? And then I started thinking, I was like, okay. And then I typed in dotaradio.com, and the domain was open. I was like, wow, no one's thought of this yet. This is a good idea.
Yeah, you're being sarcastic now. I can hear it in your voice.
A little bit, but that's actually what I was thinking at the time. And I bought the domain on the spot and started putting the little website together, and it was basically we had an audio-only platform that I still streamed on Twitch. And at the time, I was basically just buying tickets and YOLOing it, and that's not really kosher. At the time, it was like sort of 50-50-ish, and now that's like, a big no-no. But we started doing this thing called the Dota Radio Morning Show, and for like a month and a half, it was 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like an hour and a half in the morning. And it was myself, Charlie, and Hippie, or Chris, the guy that's here doing the social media stuff. And it was just like, news show, podcasty thing, and Charlie's big... I made a post on Reddit saying, I want to do this thing, I need help, I need somebody that has all the contacts, can get guests, and handle all that stuff. And I had 3 emails. One was hi, I like Dota. The other one was kind of, I'm a self-starter, but I don't really have any contacts. And the third one was Charlie, who was the absolute perfect candidate. And I remember we had a little phone call. We talked about our goals. We talked about where we were in our lives, our degrees, what we wanted to do. And we committed to doing a month and a half of the Dota Radio Morning Show, and that kind of coincided with MLG Columbus 2013. And I was going anyway, and they let me be in the analyst area on the couch, and that's where I first started networking in Dota. And I met the Davids in person there, had dinner with LD, told him my whole spiel about esports and my mishaps with S2 and Honcast and all that shit. And a few days later, I got a message saying, hey, you want to do our remote coverage for Starladder Season 8? I said, yeah, sure.
And then,
$10 a game, let's do this thing.
Let's go.
It might have been $20 a game. I can't remember, but yeah, that was fun time.
And then you grinded.
I grinded the hell out of that season.
You have a good tolerance for the grinding.
Yes. My motto when I was starting out in esports was I want to make up for what I don't have in skills by effort. So people can flame me for being bad or like not having the best commentary, but at least they can see that I'm trying really hard, I show up on time, and
Yeah,
I
I
really
remember
care
there was,
about
like-
what I'm doing.
They were like, when you first started, you got a little bit of hate.
A
You got
little
the-
bit.
I'm trying to, like, I don't know how you view it, but
The
like,
hate train was real, man.
but it was always like, I trained with BTS, like, it's fucking Zyori, like, it's always Zyori, like, and then that I just remember thinking like, you know, that's admirable, like, you can just grind out every, like,
Yep. I mean,
and then you obviously feel like you improved a lot since those days.
Oh, yeah.
What
I
was
think-
the biggest thing that you changed about your casting?
well, I would say probably the most noticeable thing for sure is my camera control. When I was hired at BTS, my camera control was disgustingly terrible. Like at the time, I was kind of in denial about it.
So
I
now
think
it's like now you're Weapus.
not quite, but I'm
Not
close.
quite.
I think if I'm doing just the dedicated obs and not casting, I think I'm pretty close. I think Wepis is exceptionally good, and I think I'm in a top tier, but I'm not like that number one. You know, he's pretty much the gold standard, I'd say. But it was sort of like at the beginning, I was so bad at it that I didn't realize how bad I was.
Right. Yeah.
And it was, a recurring thing, and the Davids kind of said, okay, we got to work on this. And I had a few like kind of training sessions with LD, and he gave me some pointers. And I don't really know when it happened, but there just seemed to be a moment when it just kind of clicked, and you find that balance of looking at the mini map, balancing it all. And now I really don't mind doing obs at all. I used to sort of be like, God damn it, all right, don't mess up, don't mess up. This could be the game that you fuck up. And now it's like, I'm happy to do the obs. I feel pretty good about it. So, but people
Wow.
really underestimate how hard it is to do obs and be the lead caster at the same time. It's intense.
How long has this been? How long are we?
21.
Oh
30.
shit.
Jesus. All right.
You can talk, buddy.
All right, I sure can, dude. But yeah, I think also my Dota knowledge just improved a lot. When you do events like this and you hear the players talk while you're driving, you get to talk to the players. I feel like I'm actually friends with some of the players now. And this
Yeah.
time last year,
Hey, welcome to my world, man.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I make friends with the players, and then this is the secret, right? You make friends with the players, and then they will allow you to interview them, and then they're nice on camera.
it's good.
And then people think it's you, but it's actually all the preparation.
There you go.
I talk to them a lot. I talk to the players.
Yeah.
I'm just running around trying to make friends, and then so it's slow to plant the seeds, and then later on I interview them.
Yeah.
And they're like, I know this guy. I can trust him. He won't, like
It's a good strategy,
slam
dude.
me in the interview.
It's good. That's one of the best parts about doing an event like this, like the summit, because everyone's just hanging out in the house. So even when you have downtime, it's like, cool, I can see them play, or we can
Yeah.
play other games, and
I-
you naturally just chit chat.
One of the funnest things I would remember, I was just sat behind C9 and EG as they were pubbing, and it's kind of fun to watch them interact because they're playing against each other constantly. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, they're queue at the same time, and it's like they're both 7K MMR. They're gonna be playing against each other.
Right.
And it's really funny because like PPD would like be sitting there like watching Misery trying to get 7K, and be like, and he'd queue at the same time, and then he'd be like, oh, Misery's picking Shadow Fiend, like, oh, it's just row mid, that's silly, like that's like that's what they're doing like up in that room. It's like really funny.
It's good. It's a good environment.
And then I remember seeing Envy and Envy got low priority.
But he's in low priority a lot.
Yeah, and they have this like, did you know they have this special method to getting rid of low priority?
I thought it was just go Furion and sit on the cliff.
No. They go into their console and they set it so that they only queue China,
Okay.
and they queue only China low priority, and it takes them like maybe 10 minutes to find a game. But when they find it, the game ends in like 10 minutes.
Why? Because the Chinese low priority is
The
push,
Chinese
push,
low
push?
priority queue has this like implicit agreement where Radiant goes bottom lane and Dire goes top lane, and it's just like a 5-man, and they just like both push
And they just rush
the
to-
tower. Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive.
yeah, and it's like he's like I only, and I only get low priority in China. Like that's what he said. and then like I saw Misery, he had like a Naga, and he bought a poor man's shield, and he just sat there like stacking waves up. Like he would just let the waves fall until he had like 3 or 4 stacked up, and then they actually just took the throne with that, like the first like 4 waves.
That is some
and the
next
other team
level
just
low
like
priority.
sat there watching him do it.
Jesus.
Like that's like discipline, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're in low priority North America, they're like killing each other.
Yeah, they're trying hard, dude. It's like
Wasting
real
time.
Dota.
They want to get the win. But
Yeah.
that's like kind of story that you can get.
The other cool thing like that on the Chinese servers is that in pub games, mid still often buys the courier. I heard that that's a thing. It's like a relic from the past where in Dota 1, everyone wanted to play mid. So that was your way of saying, I bought the courier, I'll share it with you. going mid, claiming your territory, and it's sort of like just a relic of the past that's still stuck true.
Now the mid players are like, they're all above you. They're like lording, like,
yeah.
give me some tangos in the courier, man.
Tango's courier,
I want to
please.
buy my Null Talisman.
No wards?
Like,
GG.
give me a mid ward. Like, can you guard the rune so I can come get it?
It's crazy how different it is on the different servers.
Yeah. And okay, all right. I don't want to. This is long already. So let's.
This is turning into a Zyori podcast.
Well, yeah, we'll talk again. We'll talk again. I mean, there's stuff coming up that we'll both be attending. So.
Oh yeah, dude. All right.
We'll talk again. So let's do some shout outs. You got any shout outs?
I really need to think harder about my call outs. I should have prepared
No,
that
do
before
a
this
shout
year.
out to your
Shout out.
entrepreneur teacher.
Shout out to all
your
those
innovation teacher.
to all those entrepreneurs out there that are innovating around the world. You guys, I actually don't have many entrepreneur friends from college. A lot of them were pretentious douchebags, as you would imagine.
Well, none of them founded like Facebook or something.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe some of them did, but not quite yet. But God, who do I want to shout out, man? I want to shout out to Twitch chat. I think that's where
Twitch
I'm at.
chat?
They've been
Okay.
entertaining me a lot today. You know, Dogface is my new thing. It's changed. It used to be, oh, Zyori's here, just all sniffs. Now it's, oh, Zyori's here, everyone spams Dogface.
What's Dogface?
It's the one of like, I think it's a girl with like a hoodie or long hair, and she's got glasses just like mine, making the like tongue out kind of dog face. Like,
Okay.
it looks a lot
So
like me.
you've made it. You've managed
Oh, yeah.
to.
It happened accidentally, but it really, the first time I saw it, I thought it was like an emoticon that somebody uploaded to their channel of me as like a joke. But it's one of the global Twitch ones that just is.
You've never been more happy to see someone spam.
Dude, I hop in there, I
making fun of
make a
your
dog
looks.
face, and it just blows up. Like, so this is what Bulldog is digging on here in the Twitch chat. I
He
get it
loves
now.
Yeah.
So shout out to all those badasses. I like it.
And what about the call out? Give me a call out.
Ooh, call out.
You're you're political now. You're gonna give me
I
all
know,
those
I'm too
bullshit
political.
call outs. You're gonna actually call someone.
No, I want to call out LD for not sleeping enough. That man needs to. He needs.
that's bullshit.
He needs to
That's-
learn how to
come
unplug.
on, dude. What is
Okay.
that?
All right. What's a
I'm gonna
primary
call out my.
Calling out your boss? That's hardcore, man.
That's not a call out. He needs to sleep more.
does need to sleep.
You're like
He's a
concerned for
machine.
his welfare. That's like.
I'm concerned for everyone's welfare.
That's okay. Well, you got to work on that.
I got to work on.
But next
What's
time
the
it's-
best call out you've ever heard? Because I started asking people for call outs, and I've yet to get a good
Fear.
answer.
I think he had a good one back at TI. I think he just called out. He just pointed us. He's like, this guy on some other team. I don't like him. I hope he loses.
Damn,
I'm
that's
like, why? He's
hardcore.
like, I just don't like the guy, or something like that. It was in one of the interviews. Pretty
Okay,
funny.
all right, how about this? I'm gonna call out Cinderin for being ass at Texas Hold'em. I fucking worked him yesterday.
Okay,
That
yeah.
was nice. I went
He's
in there.
He's very conservative.
Dude, he was really into it. I went in there and I was using poker terms incorrectly on purpose. So,
Like what?
like when they would have the flop, it'd be like, oh man, this river's really not working for me. And they all start laughing and the chips are colored, not numbered. I'd be like, wait, how many red ones is it again? hey Ben, I'll trade you a black one for 3 green ones. And that's like, 10 for like 3 2-pieces.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
shit like that. And I think they thought I was, it's like, I'm not good at poker, but I play. Like I know how the lingo and the
Skills
rules
don't matter in that kind of game.
yeah, so I was really tired, so I kind of handed up. And I think Cinderin believed it, and I had a suited 10-3, and I limped in, and there was a 10
You
to
don't
3.
with a suited 10-3. Okay.
Dude, it was easy, right? So I go in,
All right.
and the flop is a 10 to 3. I'm like 2 pair. I'm like beautiful. Okay, cool. So there's like I see 3 10s. Cinderin's holding a 10, so he's like, oh shit. Okay, this is good. I've got. Oh yeah, and then another 10 came out. Whatever. There's it ends up there's 2 10s and a 3 on there. So I end up with a full house. Cinderin's got triple 10s, and I'm like slow rolling it. He goes all in. I'm like, okay, sure. I call him, pop it down, and he's just like, oh, and I suck at handling the card. So I'm like trying to deal, and I'm like really slow, shuffling like a 2-year-old, and he's just like, fucking lost to this guy. Oh my, he's just like getting more mad as the game goes on.
Be like, what? 10-3 is not a good hand, man?
Yeah,
You think
exactly.
10-3?
So call out to Cinderin for being
That's my mom's birthday,
ass at
October
cards.
3rd. That's why I limped in.
That's my dad's birthday.
Oh, you should have said that. You should
Oh
have like,
my
that's
God.
my dad's birthday.
You know, we had a 3-2-2 flop flop the other day.
You should just pick it up and throw it.
That's kind of what happened. I think everybody folded because they were just afraid of what might come.
Okay. All right, we're done. That's it.
Bye-bye.
Good interview. Really long. I'm getting the most out of it, I think.